We're Pugs. We're going to talk about everything that I hate about Jurassic World and Jurassic World, the pain returns, and eventually Jurassic World. They're not done milking this yet. The Indominus Rex was, in my opinion, a massive error. It's the T-Rex. Why do we keep on trying to replace the T-Rex as the coolest dinosaur in the Jurassic Park series? They just keep on trying to do it. The fans push back against it. They try to make something scarier. It does, like the whole Jurassic Park 3 thing with the Spinosaurus. When that happened, I was just sitting there looking at the screen like, you just did not do that. You just did not do that. Everybody's here to see the T-Rex. That's what people came here. This is what we play for. I don't care about this thing. And you just killed the T-Rex like it was nothing. Just give me a break. Just give me a break. And then they had to come out with the Indominus Rex, and then the Indoraptor, which was so annoying. The whole plot line. I'm just gonna say it. Dinosaurs will be shit in a war, and I don't know why they keep on trying to press this. Oh, we could use these in the military thing. Like, oh, we could have used some of these puppies in Tora Bora. For what? For what exactly? What could you have used these for in Tora Bora? Period. This kind of stuff makes my head crawl with the angries. But that has nothing to do with this. This was a request that came in, and to be quite honest with you, I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do with it, because this here is a request from Juice of the Destroyer, and it's from Goji Center. Now, they have one simple thing that they try to do. Make the Indominus Rex even more deadly. We're going to jump right into this. All links for Goji Center are going to be down in the description below. Let's check it out. See how much I like this. See how much you like it. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Let's get right into it. This is the first time I've checked out anything from Goji Center, so this is going to be a learning experience for me. Let's go.
Indominus Rex was notorious for laying waste to an entire park, leaving nothing but mutilated corpses in her path.
He sounds like he's doing my announcer voice.
But here on Goji Center, we are going to take this even further.
Okay.
How can we make the Indominus herself more dangerous
Add a rocket launcher.
and her warpath more lethal? Today, we will deliver nothing else but more chaos, more carnage, more blood.
Yay.
In a previous episode, we talked about the Ultimasaurus and its anatomy, and ended up bringing forth an even more powerful dinosaur capable of bringing down just about anything this island could throw at it.
What?
Even an angry sauropod. For this episode, we'll be doing more or less the same with the Indominus Rex, studying its genetic composition and replacing...
Is this a mess around with Jurassic World, if the actual game? If so, I'm in it. If so, I'm in it, okay?
a few contributors with surprising life forms that you won't even see coming. The idea is to build a more lethal hybrid that will wipe out all significant life forms in this island, both big and small.
Sweet.
And yes, this includes humans.
Yay!
This will require a different approach than what we did with Ultimasaurus Imperatrix. This animal was a result of creating a dinosaur that fits a certain template.
Okay.
The Indominus at the end of this episode will still be an Indominus, but will look different, since the objective is to cause an extinction event quickly and efficiently.
Okay.
Making this hybrid bigger will only mean that smaller life forms such as humans and below will be able to easily hide from this animal. We'll be reconstructing this hybrid to fit our extinction needs as we go, starting with the overall frame. Wait, no, not this type of frame, dude.
What if you put it inside of a Pontiac?
Dude, this is for a poster.
Oh.
I guess the video editor couldn't think of a better way to plug in our sponsor, Displate, who provided us at Goji Center HQ with a few dope metal posters so we can show you guys how you could get some of your own. Just go to Displate.com and browse through tons of unique metal poster designs, both original and officially licensed designs.
But do they have extra crispy?
Like Star Wars, Marvel, Jurassic Park, and find cool Godzilla posters like this one we got here, including one taking form in Displate's new Textra product, which adds a new level of dimension to your wall art. If you happen to suck at mounting stuff on your wall, Displate's sticker leaf and magnet lets you mount your art in seconds. No tools, no damage to your walls, and no angry landlords telling you that you can't mount anything on the wall. Screw that, dude. With Displate, you'll get your Indoraptor poster in just a few days, slap that thing on the wall, and you're good to go.
That's cool.
Use this code to get 27% off 1 to 2 poster designs. And if you get 3 or more, you get 37% off your whole order.
There you go.
Displate for
Guys, description below. If you want to pick up some stuff for your, like, do it. Like, do it. Like, if I wasn't getting a cabinet right there and a cabinet right there eventually, like, I would be doing it. And I'm probably still going to do it to fill out this room because, you know, back here it's kind of bare. Be nice.
For sponsoring this episode. And
Very
now
nice.
we can talk about the objective of this episode. If the objective is to try to reduce the population on Nublar, an animal bigger than the Indom wouldn't really cut it. This should be able to break inside some buildings as well as running down faster prey. So reconstructing the build might be necessary here.
Okay.
This doesn't mean that we're going to shrink the overall size. Remember, we do need to bring down these guys, sauropods too, so keeping her large will motivate her to keep hunting to meet her caloric needs.
Right.
Outrunning the smaller life forms such as Gallimimus won't be necessary since ambushing can do the trick just fine.
Right.
So, what should we do? To begin, we'll reduce the size of the hind legs to make this animal a bit more quadrupedal. This seems counterintuitive, but consider
Not
that
really.
quadrupeds can distribute their weight on 4 limbs instead of just 2. This
It also lowers the center of balance pretty effectively.
Indominus can now be potentially faster and quieter. That's right, now her weight can be distributed better instead of 2 booming footsteps, making her an even better ambush predator than she already is. Also, she now has a lower center of gravity, allowing her to have better balance and less likely to get toppled over. Our Indominus now looks a bit more menacing, but the biggest modification is about to begin.
Okay.
Number 2, front limbs. It's no secret that the Indominus is extremely intelligent, but giving her better limbs and better dexterity will allow her devilish ideas to come to fruition much easier. That's why we'll modify her forearms to take the traits of an ape, like a chimpanzee.
So basically just shifting the shoulder blades slightly out, giving them more of an angle. That would work.
Before you freak out, note that she already has opposable thumbs, a trait also seen in apes. So pushing the already suspected ape genome here would most definitely help the Indominus a lot more in combat. How? Let us explain.
Yep.
The forearms and shoulders of apes are anatomical marvels in the animal kingdom. Given this arrangement of bones and muscle, allow them to whirl their arms around 360 degrees. This range, if given to the Indominus, will make her grappling, mangling, and slashing so much more stronger that no other dinosaur will have any effective counter against these flexible maneuvers. But that's not all. This upgrade also comes with fast twitch muscles, making these arms a lot stronger than they already look. Any impact, grip, push, or throw will be many times more dangerous. And yes, throwing as well.
Nice.
One skill exclusive to apes is the ability to hold things, throw them, and even use tools. Now, admittedly, it's a bit bizarre to see an Indominus use tools, but if the objective is for the Indominus to effectively
Maybe it just wants to cook its food. Have you thought of that? Have you thought of that? Just a little bit of cooked food would do the Indominus some glorious work, okay?
kill all life forms, she will have to be capable of reaching tiny humans hiding inside crevices with her own arms or with whatever else she can find.
That's actually horrifying. Because if it can throw, and if it's intelligent enough, that would mean it can learn how to make a spear.
No, this actually can happen. In the real world, chimps have been observed fashioning spears to jam into cramped spaces, impaling the small animals inside. Because of the ape genome coupled with the shorter hind legs, our Indominus will now move a little differently when she's walking. Knuckle walking would be a pretty easy way of getting around without ruining those claws. In the next section, we'll also be improving these. Our new Indominus is still capable of running on her hind legs, using her front arms as support when tearing through rough terrain, climbing steep inclines, and running through wide alleyways.
Nice.
This is now an all-terrain hybrid.
Okay.
Number 3, claws. Now to the business end of these already overpowered claws. Therizinosaurus was a good contributor to these, and they did function well enough. But how can we make these better? When it comes to slashing and rending as well as grappling, there is another more optimal shape from another carnivore. None other than the largest predator in the Jurassic, Saurophaganax.
Okay.
Being this big means killing big dinosaurs. And what better with than these? What you see here is a reconstruction, but does not represent the largest known specimen of this genus. So yeah, they could have been bigger than this.
What?
This sharp hook is the perfect shape to grip the victim compared to the straighter claws of the Indominus. Mixed with the ape-like forelimbs, these will literally shred through the skin
Okay, this is a rapidly approaching not right.
of the thickest hides of some animals, as if you stuck a sharp hook in your mom's leather sofa. A hook like this inside, backed up by powerful fast-twitch movements, will destroy the thigh of any dinosaur. Even a sauropod would topple down from a wound from these claws.
Apes together strong.
This weapon alone will lay waste to all large-sized creatures. This hand, now that we can call it that, will grip any animal, toppling it down and killing without even needing to involve the teeth. Its lower center of gravity, aided by a wider stance, will make it impossible for any herbivore or even large carnivore to flank this creature. Number 4, armor.
Armor.
With addition,
Okay.
subtraction will also be required. We already reduced the length of the hind legs, but we'll make another adjustment with this hybrid's armor. An
Okay.
animal this big, like the Indominus, only really needed to rely on its robust size and thick hide, rather than osteoderms. For instance, the T-Rex wasn't defeated here because she lacked armor, instead because she got out-grappled. Indominus would have been fine here with just her thick skin on top of her body.
Okay.
These spiky osteoderms are spread apart too much to be actually considered an effective form of armor, but were there just for the cool factor.
Yeah.
The real armor here, and here was the thick skull and thick hide. This body armor on the upper body would have been courtesy of Carnotaurus and Majungasaurus.
Look at its face. It looks like a little... Oh, look at it. If it wasn't so terrifying, I'd want to boop the snoot.
On looking at the animals themselves...
Oh, God, look at it running. Look at it running. Look. I want to boop the... Look, it can't be any taller than about a foot. I want to boop its whittle
the of
snoot.
Carnotaurus
Not
and
that one. Majunga.
Upon looking at the
Look at it.
animals themselves, we see that they both have tiny arms, kind of useless in combat. Keeping this mishmash of DNA would risk confusing the Indominus's instinct to use the forelimbs, complicating the internal anatomy now that this animal has even longer arms. Raptor DNA helps here, but we need something more to not only protect the Indom, but a contributor that is even more compatible with our now facultative quadrupedal hybrid.
Okay.
Meet the African dwarf crocodile. Okay, yes, it's
Hi,
a bit
little
underwhelming
guy.
at first glance, but this guy has something its bigger relatives lack.
Uh-huh.
Armor on its upper body and below. Our Indom here was only armored from above and not from the sides. So now, with our croc here making itself present in this genetic composition, we now have full body armor to work with.
Okay.
Not extremely thick and scaly like the Giga, but something resembling this croc's thick hide. That is the part that's not covered by osteoderms. Something thick enough to fend off firearm projectiles and slashes. Another reason why this is the perfect animal to supply armor from is because this creature also has longer legs than your typical crocodilian.
Ah.
These guys spend most of their time on land and are known for rushing prey beyond cover of water. This muscular tail will help counterbalance the added bulk to the modified Indom forelimbs, making bipedalism easy when it wants to run on 2 legs. For this reason, the African dwarf croc proves itself
It just looks like it's going, hey, you guys.
a
Okay, I'm
better
done.
contributor than the Abelisaurus. Not to mention that this new crocodilian-like tail and genetics now allows the Indominus to be more aquatic. Sure, the crocodilian attributes are already present with the integration of Deinosuchus DNA, but our Indominus 2.0 will have a bit more crocodilian influence to its overall build.
It honestly is starting to look more and more like an alligator or a crocodile than it is a dinosaur. I'm just saying, it looks more like that.
Making it able to pursue animals on both land and water. Oh, but adding a dwarf crocodile is going to affect the size of this animal, right? No. Consider that adding raptor, Abelisaurus less than 2 tons, cuttlefish, and tree frogs didn't seem to shrink the damn thing. So adding a bit of reptilian croc DNA won't have too much effect. Okay, enough with the armor. Let's get to the fun stuff.
Okay.
Number 5, the bite. Is it even possible to make this bite better here? Believe it or not, there is. The bite of the Indom was already kinda OP, given that the T-Rex base genome was already involved. The robust head of the T-Rex allowed the Indominus to be resilient enough to withstand heavy blows. But another one involved was the Deinosuchus, which from a critical point of view didn't add much apart from bite force.
Yeah.
Front teeth are meant for—
I can only imagine the bite force of a fully grown Deinosuchus. They were absolutely gargantuan. And based off, not based off, they are the ancestors of crocodiles and alligators. So I would be horrified to find out how much bite force was behind those jaws. Because crocodiles and alligators, it's intense, the bite force that they put out.
For penetrating and gripping, which compared to the effects of a T-Rex bite, the T-Rex bite method proves more lethal and messy. It's likely that the exposed teeth of the Indom were courtesy of the Deinosuchus, but having exposed teeth can be a problem. Without any lips or gum tissue, the teeth would be at risk of rotting, weakening the enamel. That's if they're not submerged in water regularly. And since our Indom is not submerged in water all the time, we may have a problem here. So today, we'll take the Deinosuchus genome away, since a well-placed bite of a T-Rex powered jaw will be more than enough to handle just about anything alive on land. Instead, we'll make this bite deadlier by the incorporation of a powerful predator known to hunt down animals larger than itself. A cold-blooded killer with a brutal set of teeth. An insatiable thirst for blood, eating more than its body weight every single day. No. Seriously, we're not kidding.
What?
Meet the northern short-tailed shrew. This animal was selected more so because—
Look at his little face. I like animals.
Of what's going on under the hood. See for yourself. This dude's grill features a tiny array of weapons of mass destruction. Jaws loaded with fast twitch muscles and known to gnaw through bone and protective shells in a span of seconds. This red stuff here, not blood. In fact, any unlucky victim would wish it was. This black and red coloration comes from high amounts of iron ingrained into the composition of the teeth, producing extremely sharp cutting edges capable of sawing into prey.
Dude literally has a grill. What the hell?
So, in effect, these teeth are metal. If this still fails to impress, we'll have you know that this animal is one of those extremely rare examples of venomous mammals. That's right. Unlike a snake where it injects its venom through its fangs, this creature will violently jam its frontal tusks and insert venom violently all over the place, leaving a bloody mess. Now, some more factors can come into play as well. To make matters worse for the victims of this newly improved Indominus, this shrew lives in a near constant state of adrenaline rush.
Oh, yay!
Making it move faster, kill faster, eat faster, and as a result, will end up eating many times its own weight, in turn motivating our already hungry Indom to kill at a faster rate. Combine these new tooth attributes with that of a T-Rex bite, and we potentially have the most lethal bite in the Jurassic franchise.
Dude, that's just not right. That's just not right. We have gone... Yeah, that's just, this one's getting... Yeah.
This scene,
spicy.
Our new Indom would shatter this ball like a light bulb. You may think that this animal can't get any worse, but you're very wrong. Number 6. What is more dangerous than one hybrid? Multiple. And no, we won't need Mr. Indominus for this, because in this scenario, Miss Indom won't need no man. Admittedly, the Indominus in Jurassic World may have possibly had this ability genetically blocked per se, as to not repeat the same mistakes made in Jurassic Park, where these raptors started breeding without a male counterpart. We aren't sure of this, but to make this more interesting, we'll allow this ability to play out in order for our new Indom to produce more clones of herself.
Yay.
By adding some whiptail lizard into the mix, an animal known for deliberately reproducing without a mate. This has been seen before already with the Scorpius Rex via parthenogenesis. The Scorpios, however, would undergo a meiosis parthenogenesis, given that the offspring was a bit different than the mother, and not all traits were inherited by the baby Scorpios. In this scenario, all traits and all physical attributes will be passed down from mother to offspring, bringing forth exact replicas of the mother using apomictic parthenogenesis.
and now it produces asexually.
This increases the likelihood of all of these new Indoms to work together, coordinating attacks like raptors, effectively killing all surrounding human life in a very short time. Not to mention, these guys are smaller, faster, able to run through hallways in smaller areas, able to grow at much faster rates than your normal dinosaur, and even if the mother dies or gets killed, she'll just end up getting replaced by another identical hybrid who can also reproduce. These smaller, hyper-adrenalized hybrids will end up sweeping the island, bringing down medium-sized creatures via coordinated attacks. In no time, the human and dinosaur population will be rendered down to very few, turning this island sweep into a search and kill operation. We've successfully created an animal that can cause an extinction-level event in this island, but there's a chance we could turn this into a global catastrophe. Number 7, Plague.
Wait, what?
With so much carnage and bloodshed happening in this island, it will be inevitable for disease to spread. The putrid scent of rotting corpses fills the air as hordes of blood-stained Indominus Rexes run around looking for the next thing to kill. One nasty aspect when it comes to genetics is that when dealing with life forms, the microscopic ones are infinitely harder to control.
Right.
We're talking about viruses.
Yay!
To put this very, very simply, viruses hijack cells and the DNA chain to make copies of themselves. They leave traces of themselves in the host, and the host will leave traces of itself in the virus. So they both exchange information, basically. When the virus jumps to another different species, it will die off because it was not able to replicate. But if it does replicate, then a new strain is made, which can be terrifyingly deadly to this new infected species.
Right.
What does this have anything to do with our Indominus extinction event? Over 61% of all major viruses and bacteria-borne diseases started out in one type of animal before jumping to humans. Consider that the Indominus would be a large-bodied predator roaming over a large area, miring itself with all sorts of diseases, bacteria, fecal matter, blood, and all sorts of pestilent elements.
Hooray!
And since it's a hybrid, it will pick up all sorts of bacteria from both birds and mammals. Rabies, avian pox, flu, and the moment one unlucky human just gets near a place an Indominus has been, drinks the same water, or just breathes the same air, then this dude risks getting contaminated and spreading it out to his companions.
Hooray.
But wait, this guy is a human. How did this hybrid infect this human? Well, if you remember, our ape genetic contribution earlier also serves a different purpose. Bridging or breaking a genetic barrier for a virus to potentially affect humans. Producing a deadly strain, spreading amongst anyone who manages to escape the island, both bird and human alike, leaving millions of dead life forms in its wake.
Well, okay then. So this was... I gotta say, this was not bad. This was just... This was a thought experiment. And I thought it went really, really well. So... This is what we started with. And this is what we had when we were done. To be honest with you, the initial Indominus, the initial one, looks better in terms of like just sheer appeal. And I think a lot of the design choices in the Indominus Rex as far as aesthetics went were made to give it a sleek, streamlined appearance. I'll bring this back up. They made it look kind of like a T-Rex, but they also gave it some of the other features, like the spines off the back of the head, the spines on the back of the arms. All of that looks pretty much, all that's there just for appearance's sake. Now, when I first saw this, I was thinking, okay, so they're going to start making dinosaurs look as if they may have looked in the late Cretaceous when they were starting to, when a lot of the dinosaurs were starting to sprout feathers. There is some belief that the T-Rex was born with down and may have had feathers in adulthood. So that was my thought when I first saw this thing. Then I realized that it was just the rule of cool when it came down to it. When I look at the Indominus as it is right here, it just looks like you took a T-Rex and a Velociraptor, slapped them together, and then unhinged his jaw like a snake. That's what I think about when I see the Indominus Rex. And I found it completely unnecessary to the plot line. I really, really like, well, not really the plot line. The overarching story. I found it completely unnecessary, and it was just... It's something that Hollywood has been doing for the past, like, 15, 20 years, where they're just sitting there like, okay, you remember how this was really cool? Well, look at this. This is now really cooler. Look, you should really like this. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I had the T-Rex. I had Predator. I had all this other kind of stuff. And now you're trying to make me like this other thing. Like oh, look at the new type of Predator. It's stronger and taller. And it's just like, bro, the Predator's scary enough. The T-Rex is scary enough. Anyhow, I'm going to get off my soapbox about that. As far as the Indominus Rex goes, it looks very streamlined. It looks very agile. It looks like a big Velociraptor. All intents and purposes. The feet look a little bit too small for the body, but at the same time, who can really say? But this, on the other hand, this looks like a chonkler, okay? Hold on. This looks like something... Oh my god. So, better body armor. The teeth are what kill me. The teeth are what just drive me kind of crazy about this thing. Because a shrew that has iron for teeth is a devastating opponent. A devastating opponent. Warpugs, let me know what you think in the description down below. Okay? I'm going to have all the Goji's links down there, as well as their promotion, because God knows, get yourself some good art. You have a nice piece of artwork in your house. Makes everything look great. You know, look at that. Look at that centerpiece back there. Looks awesome, doesn't it? You can't tell me that it doesn't. If you can, you have, yeah, no. I'm gonna get out of here, folks. I will catch you guys next time. Please like and subscribe. Join the channel as a member of Patreon if you haven't already for early access. I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, dinosaurs are fun. They always have been fun. And now we can't say we won't get dinosaurs, because we're living in Jurassic Park now, apparently. Welcome to Jurassic World. Or at least Pleistocene World. I'm okay with Pleistocene World. Just as long as they don't bring back the saber-toothed cat, I'll be fine, because that thing, just no.